Something dropped from the UN this week that every creator in Kenya needs to know about. The UN's Independent International Scientific Panel on AI released a report this month, literally this week, warning that AI-generated misinformation, deepfake videos, and coordinated digital influence campaigns are now the single biggest threat to election integrity around the world. And then I looked at Kenya's election calendar and thought, we're 12 months away. 12 months from an election in a country that has one of the most digitally active populations in Africa, with a creator economy that the UN report specifically says is being exploited. And most creators have no idea the machine is already running. So let's talk about it. Because this affects you, whether you're a creator, a brand running campaigns, or just someone who consumes information on their phones, which in Kenya is basically everyone. Let me give you the actual picture, not the theory. What's happening in Kenya's information environment right now? TikTok is the leading disseminator of misinformation in Kenya. Not rumor, documented research. A single coordinated campaign pushing a narrative about tribal voting power generated 6,172 mentions, over 163,000 views. One campaign, one narrative. Now, the disinformation industry in Kenya is no longer external. Mozilla Foundation research is clear. There's now a domestic disinformation industry in Kenya, largely driven by social media influencers. People are being paid by political actors to share false or misleading narratives intended to shape public opinion. And this is where it gets directly relevant to the creator economy, because some of the people being approached are creators, regular people with audiences, not necessarily knowing what they're getting into, just taking a brief and getting paid. The UN report is specific about this. It says fake content can now be generated instantly, personalized for different audiences, and continuously adapted in response to user behavior. The old model, one fake story broadcast widely, is over. The new model is surgical, fast, and nearly invisible. So here's the thing I want to say carefully. Creators in this environment are being placed in an extremely difficult position. On one side, you have a creator economy where brand deals are scarce, payment infrastructure is weak, and the temptation to say yes to any brief with a budget attached to it is very real. We've talked about this in the series already. When 89,000 creators are competing for a small pool of verified brand deals, and someone offers you money to share content, even political content, the economics can make that look very attractive. On the other side, you have political actors who understand that creators have community trust. That's exactly what they want to buy. Not your creativity, your credibility. The thing your audience gives you because you've shown up honestly for them over time. And once you sell that, even once, even in a small way, you don't get it back easily. The 2022 election research is clear on this. 60% of Kenyans encountered information they suspected was deliberately false. That's not a technology failure. That's a trust infrastructure failure. And creators who have been participating in disinformation campaigns, even unknowingly, become part of the problem. In 2027, the scale will be larger, the tools will be more sophisticated, and the money being spent will be significantly higher. So what's the actual move here? If you're a creator, pre-bunking is your tool. Pre-bunking is different from fact-checking. Fact-checking happens after a lie has spread. Pre-bunking is inoculation. You explain to your audience how misinformation works before it reaches them, so they can recognize it when it does. A creator who teaches the community how to spot a deepfake, how to verify a source, how to check a screenshot, that creator is doing more for Kenya's information environment than any government campaign. On the commercial side, know what you're signing. If a brief has no brand name attached, if you can't see who's paying, if the content you're being asked to share is about a political figure or an election result or community conflict, stop. Read it carefully. Ask who benefits from this spreading. If you're a brand or organization running campaigns in 2027, the creator you partner with is your reputation. Verified, structured creator pipelines are not just good strategy, they're brand protection. If you run an impact program, this is your election work. A trusted community creator explaining how to spot disinformation is the most effective civic intervention available right now. Here's the thing about the 2027 election that I keep coming back to. Kenya has done this before. We've navigated 2007, 2013, 2017, 2022, each cycle more digitally complex than the last. Each time, we've learned something. Each time, the information environment has gotten harder to navigate. But this time, we have something we didn't before. We have a creator economy with real scale. 89,000 creators, 40% of young Kenyans getting their news and shaping the worldview through creator content. That's either a disinformation machine or a truth infrastructure, depending entirely on whether creators understand their own power and use it responsibly. The UN panel said something I want to leave you with. It said fake content is no longer produced at scale by foreign actors with big budgets. It's produced by ordinary people with ordinary tools who don't always know what they're part of. The most powerful thing a Kenyan creator can do in the next 12 months is decide which side of the story they're on. Not for politics, for their audience. That trust is the most valuable thing you have. Protect it. See you in the next one.